Do you feel he was referring to you when he said he feels like he's been thrown under the bus and that someone wants him out? And how do you feel overall about what he's had to say? What is your response, even particularly given he said that your relationship with him had broken down?
You knew you only got 3 questions, so you thought, let's ask 5 questions in one question.
It's kind of in different parts, isn't it, ABC?
So now, which question would you like me to answer first?
Well, do you feel he was referring to you when he talked about being thrown under the bus? And
the only one who can answer that question is Mo himself, so I can guess, but I don't think that's the right thing to do in this moment of time. So it's hard for me to tell who he means in that situation, to be honest.
So have you spoken to him then, and how do you feel about what he's had to say overall as well? Again, going back to the fact that he said that your relationship with him had broken down.
We've let him know that he's not traveling with us. So that was the only communication that's been there from us to him. Of course, before Saturday, the two of us have spoken a lot. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. And then your second question was? Do
you feel your relationship has broken down with him?
No, that's not the way I feel. But he has the right to feel how he feels things. I haven't felt that at all till Saturday evening for sure, because I think when I didn't play him anymore, usually players don't like the manager then that much, but he was very respectful to my staff members, to his teammates, and he trained really hard. So to an extent it was a surprise for me that when I heard after the game that he gave the comments he gave. But as I said, it's not the first and not the last time that when a player doesn't play, he I'm not sure if he was emotional or not, but that he says something something similar to what he did. But I think my reaction to that is also clear, and that's that he's not here with us tonight. I'm a firm believer that there is always a possibility to return for a player. So, but that's not. So yeah, I can leave it with that, I think.
And how was his reaction in the conversation you had today?
A short one.
Hand on heart, do you think he's played his last game for Liverpool?
I have no clue. I cannot answer that question at this moment of time.
And that's how we welcome in our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. David, I have a couple questions I want to get to, but I know that's the first time we've been hearing or that we heard from Arne Slot here, because that interview just took place within the last 20 minutes or half hour. Anything that you heard from him that you'd like to respond to?
I think he was calm and composed. He said about all he could at this point in time, Paul. What will really be the decisive factor is what happens in the days and weeks ahead. And for now, he needs to focus on that Inter Milan match. It's a match that Mohamed Salah has been left out of the Liverpool squad for. He did train with the group this morning, but he has not travelled to Italy. It follows, of course, his comments in relation specifically to his future, casting that into doubt, not his comments on the relationship with Arne Slot. And I think Liverpool feel this was the wisest decision for all parties, a common sense decision, and there will be no disciplinary action taken against him. It's described as being a short-term measure, so it's plausible he could come back into the frame for selection against Brighton and Hove Albion on Saturday at Anfield, and then he goes away to the Africa Cup of Nations with Egypt, so it allows some time with the final of that competition, if Egypt go all the way, being on January the 18th. This was a decision taken by the club, not by Arne Slot. So we're talking about the sporting director, Richard Hughes, the chief executive of football for Fenway Sports Group, Michael Edwards, in conjunction, of course, with the ownership group, FSG, in Boston. But I think Slot would have been consulted throughout and did support this decision himself. That's not to say that he doesn't have full autonomy over team selection. He does, but these are not normal circumstances. And I think this went up to a level that the hierarchy needed to step in. It does, though, underline the support that Liverpool FSG, the ownership, the hierarchy at Anfield have for Arne Slot. They are 100% behind him. There is no doubt in their mind at this point in time over his future. They are backing him to improve the form and continue the success we saw last season wholeheartedly for the time being. It's not to say that they don't believe in Mo Salah either. I think there is some belief that they can resolve this situation. His comments, of course, shocked many, but for some it would have been inevitable, because when Mo Salah is not happy about something, he does speak out, and he signed his new contract to play football, and he's not been playing as much recently. That contract was in doubt for a long period of time. You'll remember we talked about it regularly on NBC. By the time it was signed, Liverpool were fully committed, but you have to say it's not been an easy time with the summer of change, of tragedy, and now of an element of crisis. And Liverpool will try and find a way out of it. They'll hope with Mohamed Salah, but we'll have to wait and see. It could be without him.
I want to come back to something that you said just a couple of moments ago about Arne Slot. You said that the club fully backs him. Okay, so that's one side, pretty strong. You also said there are those who believe that Mo Salah with the club, that situation could be resolvable. Do you think that we are moving toward resolve here?
I think Liverpool's view would be that the ball is firmly in Mohamed Salah's court, Paul, because he made these comments, and now he will have to decide whether he wants to follow through with what he was insinuating to leave, or indeed if he wants to reintegrate and stay. If he really does want to leave, the onus may be on him to bring offers to the table, and that will be a job for his representatives, and then Liverpool might have something to think about. Of course, they have him under contract until the summer of 2027. The word I'm getting from around Anfield is that they want him to stay until the end of that, and they've fully committed to him and continuing to be part of this project when they agreed to a massive new contract that we heard so much about at the time. Now, you could say, perhaps they would say that they want to resolve the situation because they don't want to dent his value and they want to extract the maximum amount of money if they are to sell him. But I think the renewal did show their intentions. This has come as a shock to, I think, Liverpool and many around the club. So what this will largely come down to now is where he wants to take this Mohamed Salah, and of course the market. If we cast our mind back to the summer of 2023, Al Ittihad in the Saudi Pro League made an approach. They were the first team to do that. And let's see if they follow that through in the future. They've got a full squad now. Karim Benzema's still there. But the summer may change that picture because Benzema will be out of contract. Al Hilal made overtures for him last January because, of course, they were preparing for the Club World Cup. It didn't go anywhere, but that sort of showed their hand. Al Qadsiya have space and money, but it would be a bit of a surprise to me. And then there may be interest from elsewhere in Saudi, Neom, one of the newer clubs, and also the Major League Soccer, MLS. There's a new team, San Diego FC. They're an expansion team for 2025. Their owner, Sir Mohamed Mansour, is a British-Egyptian businessman, and there have been some links on that front as well. Maybe the Premier League, but I'm not sure how Liverpool would think about that. Liverpool, if he does depart, will want a fee. They'll want, obviously, his salary to be covered. That will create space for them to potentially replace. They've been linked with Antoine Semenyo and other players, but maybe they'll go with what they already have because there's a lot of new signings and they want to bring the best out of them. But that's a step further on from where we are now. They need to resolve this situation with Mohamed Salah one way or the other. It's a bit of a mess. We'll see what happens.
Quite a bit of a mess. Yes, David Ornstein, our Premier League insider. Good to talk with you as always. Guys, I was at home yesterday. I listened to both of you talk about Mo Salah and his decision to take this public. I know how you both feel about what he did and what a mistake it was. I agree with you. I think we're at a point now where everybody's wondering, okay, what's next? After listening to David, listening to Arne Slot, where are you with that question of what's coming next?
Well, first off with David, I mean, he kind of used the phrase reintegrate quite a few times, and it's like, it just makes you think, could that be possible? I think when you first hear it, and the reaction from us yesterday was, and most of football, by the way, is like, wow, there's no going back. It's unlikely he's going to play again. So I do take those words from David and think, well, I guess there could be a way to reintegrate, but I still Don't think that's going to happen.
It's hard to picture, isn't it?
It's hard to picture it. Arne Slot was very calm, very measured. He has to protect himself, Paul, in the event that he doesn't, even if they all want him to leave or whatever, he wants to go, but they don't find the right buyer. So he might have to reintegrate. I know nothing's changed what I feel about what's happened and the chance of him playing again, but it is thought-provoking when David says, listen, they backed him, they like him, they're not ruling out the possibility of reintegrating.
I think what stood out for me listening to Slot is that he's a club man. He seemed to mention Liverpool, the club being bigger than everything that we both feel. And I think that came out. I got the sense he was fighting for the club. It wasn't about him. He kept saying it's not about personal to me. And I'm not sure, obviously, with Mo Salah's comments, that he feels the same way. It's about him. He's not happy about not playing. And I just think, from Liverpool's point of view, is this a perfect opportunity? They've signed on a big contract. Not that long after that, he's been dropped. He's on the bench, and all of a sudden, he's got very petulant. And he's thrown his toys out, as we said yesterday. So, are they looking from behind, saying, "Yeah, we'd like to make it all sweet," but in theory, I believe it's a perfect way for them to go, do you know what, we can get some money for him, he can slide out the door, go somewhere, and they don't look as if they've pushed him. It's all on Mo Salah's head. That's why he's got to respond now to say apologise or do what he thinks is the next step, and I truly believe that the next step is not at Liverpool.
Do you think the players in that locker room want him back?
I think there'll be a mix.
I mean, tremendous talent.
Yeah, tremendous talent, but I think there'll be a mix. I think there'll be I think secretly a lot of them will be thinking, what are you talking about? Like, we all challenge for one of those shirts. We all have to earn the right to play, and he's basically saying that he doesn't, that he's earned it already. Just one final point, just on Arne Slot's words. The words that I took most out of that, and I looked at Lee's face as well, is when he was asked about, have you spoke to him? And he said, just a few words, just to tell him he wasn't travelling to Milan, Italy. Well, after all that was said, Paul, isn't that a little odd that it's literally, yeah, by the way, you're not travelling, instead of let's have a chat, or something different to you're not travelling. Is that all you've got to say? I mean, that's pretty cold.
It's like a punishment sentence instead of like, let's work
it's so much disdain.
Quickly, just going back to the dressing room, you said what the players thinking. I sincerely hope that some of them senior players have taken. There was laughing and joking in training today or yesterday, whenever it was. I just hope one or two of them have taken to one side and said, "Mate, what are you doing? Right. Seriously, what are you doing?" Because that undermines the club and the players.
I want to ask you guys a question quickly that they asked of Arne Slot. They said, "Do you feel like Mo has played his final game for Liverpool?" He said, "I have no clue." Your gut feeling?
Same as yesterday. I think he's played his final game.
Yeah.
I think he's going to leave in the window.
Me too,
yeah. If they are backing Arne Slot, it's hard to picture a scenario where both of those guys are back together soon, competing for the same thing.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.